Hi folks, this is Darlene. I'm here to do another reading for you today on your loved ones, ancestors that have passed away. Today, as has been happening lately, before I can even get the cards out, I have a spirit coming through today. It's a young man, quite a perky young man. I really like his spirit. I think he was around 8 or 9, I'm going to say, years old, and he was ill with, he's showing me that he lost his hair. So I'm inclined to say leukemia is what's coming strongly. Could have been cancer, some other kind of debilitating disease, obviously, but those, especially leukemia, is coming through very strong. And so bear with me here because I don't need the cards for this part. I will just tell you what he's bringing through. First of all, he's here with, he's calling her like an auntie. So this could also just be a close friend of family, but it feels like someone's aunt. Could be your parents' aunt who was a nurse, or someone, one of the parents' siblings. But this woman was a nurse, or is a nurse. No, was a nurse. What am I saying? Was a nurse, because she's on the other side. Or possibly could have just worked in a capacity very like a nurse, in that she was some kind of a caregiver. But it feels to me like she was a nurse. So it's such a sweet, sweet message. I'm glad to bring this kind of message through. Always, it's easier to swim in this energy than it is some. But he's just such a happy kid, and I think that's the point of his message and wanting to come through today, is to let you know how happy he is. And he's also talking about the end of his life, where he was in a hospital care, and he's making it clear that this was not a regular hospital. This was some kind of a special hospital that catered to children, like St. Jude's or a children's hospital. But he is saying he had so much fun, despite the fact that he felt awful, and despite the fact that, you know, he was ill and all that he had to go through with that. He said he had so much fun, that they took such good care of him, that, hold on one second. Sorry. They just did so many fun things with him, as those kind of people do who work in those hospitals. You know, everything from bringing him his favorite food when they could, and making balloons and those kinds of cute things. Let me get a little drink of water. They would come in, you know, with funny faces on, and all the little things that those very special people do to help these children deal with what they're going through. So he's saying he had so much fun because he got a lot of attention, and he's not saying that in a selfish way. Who, pardon me, who doesn't love attention? We all do. We all love attention. But he's just saying they made him feel so special and so cared for, that he actually had a great time, and he couldn't have asked for a better situation for passing over. But now he's saying in now his new situation, environment on the other side, he's showing me, he's saying, but I'm having even more fun over here. He said, I'm just having such fun. There's so many fun people. There are other children that I can play with, and they're just, everybody's here looking out for everyone else. And he's saying, and I just love it. He said, there's so many things, and he's pointing out this one specific toy. I think someone gave him, perhaps the parents gave him, like a red fire truck. Brought it to him, I think, in the hospital, if I'm not mistaken. But that could have been something he had at home. But he loved it. It was one of his favorite toys, maybe his very favorite. And he really enjoyed it. But he's saying, But now I have a bigger one and a better one over here. And that he said, this one I can climb up on. He said, it's big and I can climb up there and I can blow the horn and run the siren all I want to, and nobody cares. Everybody here just laughs and thinks it's fun. And he said, I'm just having so much fun over here. So I hope the parents of this child can hear this message and feel comforted in knowing. And that's something else he showed. I mean, I don't really know if I even need cards for this reading today. And I love it when things come through this clearly. But he's also showing me a bit about the family that he left. There's a mother, father, and a sister. One sister, I keep feeling like there's a second. It could have just been a friend. But they're making the point, I say Spirit is making the point that so often when you lose a child, it tears families apart. It just, splits it right down the middle, and one or both parents just simply can't get past the loss, or they blame each other, and all the dynamics that can happen in those situations. But that is not what happened in this family. And Spirit's, not only is the child, but Spirit is acknowledged that the parents, they were, and they're using the specific word, awakened. These parents are awakened, and they understood that it was, although clearly they love this child so very much, and certainly they grieve the loss, but they also understood that we don't die, we just lose our bodies and go into another type of existence. And they understood that, and they understood that this little boy was such a very, very special soul that, even though he was here for a small time, he impacted other people. He just had this joy about him, this light about him, that people loved to be around him, and he shared that. And he, even at his young age, he impacted the world in his own way. And they recognized that, and Spirit now is acknowledging them for that, and for being awakened enough to recognize that with this child. And he's also pointing out this, I think he's telling me he did this with his sister, but it could have been some other family member. You know how kids will, especially little boys, they go up and they'll pull their sister's pigtails? Well, that's not what he did. He would go up and put his hand in their hair and kind of tousle their hair around, like with his fingers, mess the hair up. So I don't know who that applies to, but he's kind of giggling over that and saying, yeah, I did that, and used to irritate them, but not really badly. Again, this family all just, it's a beautiful family, and they all seem to have gotten and still do get along very, very well. And I don't even know if I need to put, what else? Was there anything else? Oh, I think he's telling me, if I'm seeing this picture correctly, that that he had a pet. It was a, let me see. I'm going through my own grandkids' line of pets to be sure I tell you the right one. I think it, guinea pig, I believe that's what it is. Yeah, it's furry, and this big and furry and not much of a tail, and yeah, I believe it's a guinea pig that he had, that was his pet, or maybe both the children had that as a pet. So that's some pretty good specific information, but let's see if Spirit has anything else to add with the cards to this story, so that you'll know this is for you, although I don't know how that's pretty specific. Hopefully you can find this message. And speaking of, if you guys, please hit that like button and subscribe if you feel moved to, because that helps YouTube know that this content is worth viewing, and it pushes it out to more people, so that way it can find its way to the parents and the family of the child. And that's true with every video. If you just can show a little love there for me, I'm grateful. I do these videos because I feel that's what I'm being called to do, but I do feel I need a little help with getting it to the people. Now, I do believe in divine guidance, and that's why I just have faith that it's going to reach the people that it's supposed to reach. But you guys can help that process by hitting the like button and sharing it. If you think you know who this family is, please share the video with them and give them my blessings. Okay, whoops. Alrighty, thank you. Oh, yeah. That's sweet. So this message, I feel like the message here is he's saying, well, there's two messages here. There's two levels of messages here. I'm hearing him, one message is, he had a very small karmic debt, we'll call it. I don't like really that word, but let's just say that he needed to finish in this lifetime that he was just in, to balance the scales of his own karma. And that's one of the reasons that he came in here for a short period of time instead of, you know, a long lifetime. Let me see. And he's also saying, and it wasn't just me, that also balanced the family karma. So, you know, and as we know, many times, here, let me just, you can see that, right? Yeah. We reincarnate time and time again with family members, soul tribes. With, you know, our roles change often, but we always manage to find each other when we're supposed to, and we have a soul contract that we come in with each time, sort of like, I need to check this off my list of unfinished business. And so he's saying part of, you know, it was a personal karmic debt that he needed to resolve, and then also one that helped his family's karma be balanced. So that's a very specific message. And that he saying, and all of you family members agreed to that before you came in, which is the way that always happens. But he's saying, but it was such a happy family, and I was so glad that I could do that with these. He's just acknowledging the spiritual side, the soul level, the 5D experience was before he came in, and he's showing the love that you all shared for each other was bigger, and that carried down through into the 3D experience. That you acknowledged that you all knew that this was the kind of thing that was going to happen before you came in here, and it was an agreement that you made so that these scales could be balanced. I do hope that makes sense for everybody. Let's see what else. There may have been a very brief period, as would be normal, where someone in the family, I just don't know who this is, to be truthful, someone in the family had a harder time with this than other members. And they just felt like running away. They just felt like just running away. They just found it incredulous that this could happen. This feels more like a grandparent energy to me, not the parents. It's not at all the energy I was picking up with the parents. But it certainly could have been. But in the end, I think this person found, I'm going to say, enlightenment around the situation. They finally understood with time that this young man was a very special spirit, and that he had work to do elsewhere, and so he could move on. But, you know, it took some... and that this family member, whoever this message is applying to, I feel like they searched, they sought out spiritual guidance to help deal with the grief, and helping them to understand, you know, how can such a beautiful soul bad things happen to this young child, and so forth. But in the end, they did reconcile it. They did come around to understanding that he's continued on. His spirit didn't die, only his physical body. And so they've come to find a sense of peace with that. And at the bottom of that, he's just acknowledging again, this is the Four of Wands, you know, the happy home, happy life. And he's just saying that was the case. He says, I don't remember, the illness was a blip. It was just a blip. He said, what I remember, what was most treasured that I will take and did take with me, was the beautiful family that I got to be in for that time, that I got to share the love of these beautiful people. Yeah, he said it wasn't, and this is the card of options, you know, and picture spirit showing me. It's like when you're up there in, we'll call it heaven. There's no physical place really called heaven, but in my opinion, but you know, before we come into our physical bodies, again, back to how I reference this over here, it's kind of like you're looking down from this quote unquote heaven place, wherever, whatever, from the other realm, and you're deciding where and how you're going to come in and what family you're going to belong to, and you know, and then you have this proverbial plate of things that you need to accomplish or karma you need to resolve in each lifetime. And he's showing me this picture of this card is such a perfect representation. You know, you've got all these good, and this one would work, and this one would work, and this one's okay, but this one, yeah, I wanted that one. And he's just saying he knew from the get-go what a beautiful and perfect situation that was going to be. Just more of that same acknowledgement that he knew there really wasn't any confusion. He knew where he was going when he came here. He chose you as the parents because he knew that you were awakened and that you could survive his loss, and that you would understand that he wasn't really gone, that he was just changing form when he left here. Ooh, okay, well, I think I'm going to leave it there, folks. And again, please hit that like button and share this with people if you think it might be a message for them, so that it can get to the family and loved ones of this young man. It was such a pleasure to bring him in today. Ah, yes, thank you all. And thank you for being here and viewing my video. I appreciate you all so very much. Wishing you all many, many blessings. And until next time, take care. Bye.